We are live and we are going to be sharing today cool songs and essential piano exercises. Remember, we do these weekly group online piano lessons every single week. Well, at least the first 4 weeks of the month. If there's a fifth week, we don't have lessons on the fifth week, but we have 4 lessons every single month. The first week of every month, and again, this is for essential piano teachers. So I'm teaching piano teachers how to learn music theory, how to learn improvisation and composition, but also how to teach it, how they can start teaching piano students about music theory, improvisation, and composition. The first week of every month, we always focus on my cool songs and essential piano exercises. The second week of every month, we focus on what I refer to as theory therapy. It's teaching music theory the fun way. It's the practical application of music theory. So that is the second week of every month. The third week is innovative improvisation, learning how to improvise. And then the fourth week is creative composition, learning how to compose music of your own, or as a piano teacher, not only learning how to compose music, but learning how to teach composition. So in today's lesson, we are actually going to be looking through my cool song series. We're going to be talking about, now I have in this series, we actually have primer level, book 1, book 2, book 3, cool songs that rock, book 1, cool songs that rock, book 2, and then I actually have 3 additional books that I haven't published, and they're called Cool Songs. Well, it's titled More Cool Songs. I'm actually going to be coming out with a published version of those books. Let me share on my website. I'll show you. If we go to my website right now, let me share the link and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this is my music motivation website. If we go to musicmotivation.com, you can see what I'm talking about here. And let me, we'll just pull up this link right here. So this takes us to musicmotivation.com. All right. This is where it shows different products I have. This is the product page. What I want to do is show you at the top, you can see how it has home. We have the about section, shop, motivation, and cool songs. So today we are going to be talking about, and I'm going to be demonstrating about 3 or 4 cool songs from book 1. Now I have a primer level, but we're just going to be focusing on book 1, how to teach these cool songs and what they are. If I click on this cool songs tab right here, well, I thought I clicked on it. There we go. Okay. It did click on it. It just took a minute. Sometimes technology will do that. But here it opens up my cool songs page and it says, what are cool songs? It asks the question. And then it goes through and it explains about my Apprentice Stage, the Maestro Stage, and the Virtuoso Stage. And then it shows you cool songs beginning level, cool songs intermediate level, and cool songs early intermediate and intermediate level. And then we have these books, primer level, book 1, book 2, book 3, and cool songs that rock, book 1 and book 2. Right now, I'm in the process. These ones on the bottom are all physical books. You can buy the physical books on Amazon. These ones on the top, they're PDF books that you can buy on my website, and they have accompaniment MP3 minus tracks that students can play along with. I am in the process of creating accompaniment minus tracks for these ones down here. But I'm actually going to redo these books and release them as physical books that people can purchase. But I'm going to include some from each of these books down here, plus additional exercises and things. If we scroll down, it shows you my Apprentice Stage, Maestro Stage, Virtuoso Stage, how it's broken up with the cool songs that are found in each of these stages or phases. If you come here, you can actually click on any of these and listen to the music. And again, these are not in a published book, a printed book. They are available in a PDF format or a PDF book on my website, but you can click on any of these. This is from the primer level. If you click on these videos here, it will take you to a separate page on my website where you can watch the videos of these cool songs. And I'm not showing me teaching or playing them. It's just where you can listen to them. Right here, we have my Cool Songs for Cool Kids primer book. And we have 21 cool songs I've composed in that book. And then we go to the Maestro Stage, and you can listen to these 16 here, and they're all fully orchestrated. You know, as an example, here we have Sonic and Good Times and Spook, and you can just click on any of these. If I were to zoom in, let me zoom in on the page right here. Okay, see how it says Sonic? And all I did was zoomed in so you could see up close and personal. But if I hit this little play button below the PDF here, you can listen to it. Can everyone hear that? Okay, you can hear that good. So, and that goes on for another 2 pages. I'm just showing you an example. Here is Good Times as an example. And again, it goes on and on. I have hundreds of these cool songs that I've composed. Today, I'm going to be teaching you from this book, Cool Songs for Cool Kids, Book 1. There are 21 cool songs in this book. Now, I have not fully orchestrated these, and I apologize. I'm in the process of doing it. I just haven't fully orchestrated these. Again, if you click on this right here, you'll be taken to a page where you can go through and you can actually see or watch the videos of the different cool songs that I have actually. So watch, I'll share this page right here. When you click on that, you're taken to this page, and then you have all of these videos that you can click on, each individual one, and you can listen to how they sound. These are all of the cool songs that are fully orchestrated. Again, these are just from those top 3 books that I haven't come out with the physical books yet. The PDF books are available. I just haven't released and published the physical books yet. But you can see they're all of these are fully orchestrated. So we have a lot, okay? Hundreds. Now, if I were to show you as an example, right here, let's go into, I'll just pick one of these just to show you. And this is just to demonstrate. I mean, we have Halloween ones, the Labyrinth, Tricks and Treats. We have kind of romantic, and here's a Scalar Skills, a fun way to teach. Well, let's just show you that one actually. Okay, if I come here, I'm going to zoom in on Scalar Skills. Oh, hold on. There we go. It's just a C major scale. That's it. Now the left hand is doing a broken perfect fifth interval. So kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that for a second, and we're going to come back here. I'm going to go to the overhead view and start playing and demonstrating and teaching these and showing what we can do with this. Let me go to the overhead view right here. Okay, so this is my book, Cool Songs for Cool Kids, Book 1. Now, with this book, there are 21 cool songs that I've created. And again, I'm in the process of orchestrating these. I haven't orchestrated these. Remember, all of these books, I haven't orchestrated them. The physical books are available. I just haven't orchestrated them. And all the other ones that I have orchestrated, you can buy the PDF books, but I don't have the physical books for those ones yet. Sorry. So we're working on that. In this book, this is more for early intermediate level students. And it starts off where we have some examples, music theory, kind of just starting with the basics. I will generally start, especially teenagers who are 10 and over, if they start a little older, I will start them specifically with this book. We'll skip the primer level and we'll go right into this book, and I start them right from the beginning. And we talk about pentascales, and we talk about intervals, and we start working on chords and having them learn how to play chords. Now, with this book, this is found on page 8 and 9. I want to show these to you. This is titled 54321 Blast Off. And then here we have Playground Pro. Again, this is from my book, Cool Songs for Cool Kids, Book 1. It's available on Amazon, the paperback book. You can buy the PDF book from my website. But let me show you 54321 Blast Off. Now here, I always like to teach music theory, but I want to teach it the fun way. If you look at the top, see how it says the skill is a melodic intervals? It's teaching melodic intervals. We have the fifth, the fourth, the third, the second, the first. Now, in the book, in the previous 2 pages, we already discussed, this is on page 5, we discussed what a melodic fifth interval is and what a harmonic fifth interval is. And then down at the bottom of the page, we even talk about a prime or perfect unison first, and then major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and a perfect eighth or octave interval. And then here, I called it 54321 Blast Off because if you see, the left hand is just using a fifth interval all the way throughout, C to G. Both hands are in the treble clef. The right hand here is actually doing a perfect fifth interval. Then we have the perfect fourth interval, then the major third, major second. Here is the 54321 Blast Off. That's why I titled it this. Let me play this for you, and then I'm going to explain the theory and how I'd like to help students practice this. So this is 54321 Blast Off. Now, pretty simple. At the end, I let go of the keys, so it kind of muted the keys. Right here, do you see what's happening? We play, all I did when I composed this, I actually played the first part here, and then I copied and pasted it down here, brought it down lower, and then at the very end, we have some chords that resolve back to the C. Very simple. I have dynamics all the way throughout. There's a challenge down at the bottom. I tell students that one of the music motivation challenges for this is once they've perfected 54321 Blast Off in the key of C, to try playing the song in every key, moving up chromatically in half steps. And what I do is I tell the students right from the very beginning, even with little students, if they can't reach the full octave, we just go up to 5 and have them do the fifth intervals. But I have them try to do this. We say primary unison first, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth. Okay, so we have them practice doing that, and I'll have them, sorry, my fingers slipped. I'll have them practice doing that and playing that, starting on all the white keys, because and they don't realize it, but what they're doing is they're actually learning modes. Last week, we actually talked about modes, and we talked about I Don't Play Like My Aunt Louise, and we talked about how we can actually take and learn modes to play around. Ionian, don't Dorian, play Phrygian, like Lydian, my Mixolydian, Aunt Aeolian, Louise Locrian, and then we're back to C. Ionian. I don't play like my Aunt Louise. It's a simple phrase I came up with to help teach the modes. Well, students don't realize it, but when we are sliding to the right and doing the intervals, we're actually going in a modular movement through the modes, just doing white keys only. Watch this. And then we slide to the right. As I'm doing this, I actually have these exercises in my book, Essential Piano Exercises. Right at the beginning of the book, we have several different exercises that I've included to teach them about intervals. Here you can see we have cool piano exercise number 1, number 2, where we're doing blocked and broken, and we're practicing doing broken intervals and harmonic, melodic and harmonic intervals. And we practice doing that, and then I start having them do different patterns, ascending and descending, really to get them to the point. If you look at this right here, this is what I was just playing. We start on C, and we play the C major pentascale, and then we go to D. And we're just doing all the white keys moving up. Now, that's the pentascale. And then once they can do that, then we start doing the same thing as intervals right here. See that? We start on C, primer unison first, then we go to C and D, major second, C and E, major third, C and F, perfect fourth, C and G, perfect fifth. And then we do that on all of the white keys. This is found on page 28 and 29 from my book, Essential Piano Exercises. So they're going to the right, practicing these intervals. They're just sliding to the right, practicing these intervals. Well, when I have the students learn how to play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off, even if they're starting out brand new students, I will encourage them to practice moving up in half steps. And what we do is we start off with perfect fifth intervals to start off with. This is the C and G perfect fifth interval. I will first take them and have them take one finger and say, I want you to play a chromatic scale. And then I explain that the chromatic is the half step scale where you don't have a key in between. I tell them if you have two keys next to each other, but you have a key in between, that's a whole step because you've got a key in between. So I tell them the half step, it's the chromatic scale. And I just have them take one finger and move up chromatically in half steps. I'll do this day 1, the very first lesson that we have them learning how to play. And I'll have them practicing. And then, and of course, this is more for ages 10 and up. I primarily teach a lot of teens and adults. So with younger students, I do something a little different, but I still have them play on all the white keys. That exercise I showed you, sliding to the right, starting on D, E, F, G. Even little children, I have them do that the very first day. And students should be learning by ear, by rote, and by note. Those are the 3 main areas or ways that we can learn and teach. One is to learn to play by ear, one is to learn to play by rote, where someone demonstrates and shows you, and one is to learn to play by note. We need to have all 3. Some teachers only teach by note, and that's fine. I was classically trained. I'm just as comfortable playing Rachmaninoff, Liszt, Chopin, Beethoven, as I am playing jazz, blues, and other things by ear. But I think we need to do everything. I think we need to play by ear. We need to play by rote, where someone just demonstrates and shows you, and then play by note, where we read the notes. I think we need to do everything. So when I'm having students practice this, after they've taken one finger, I will have them take a perfect fifth interval, and I tell them, pretend like we're walking up steps, just moving up chromatically in half steps. We have the perfect fifth interval, C and G. And then they'll take their fingers and just move up half a step with each finger. And I have them do right hand, then left hand, and then they do both hands together, going up and coming back down. And then I have them just for fun, and I say sometimes we'll move on and we'll play other pieces from the book, and then we'll come back and have you try to play 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off in every key. Sometimes they say, let's play through a few more pieces, and then we'll come back and try to have you play it as the challenge says, once you've perfected 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off in the key of C, play the song in every key, moving up in half steps. So here, I will just have the students try, and I'll say, just take the first line, just take that much and try to go up half a step. And then try to go up half a step again. What we're doing is from the very beginning, I am telling students, I want you to be able to play in every key. Now, again, they're not reading the music, and I'm doing that intentionally because I want them to take what is here, and again, they're only using these 5. It's a pentascale, but they're playing it in every key. And sometimes I'll have people who will say, oh, but that's too difficult to have them play in every key. And I'll say, if they can play the perfect fifth interval, moving up in half steps, it's not difficult for them to practice at all. And also, here's a simple way to teach. Once you've taught them intervals, remember, primer unison first, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, from the C to the B, and then the perfect eighth or octave. Sometimes teachers don't even start teaching about this until high school or college. We need to be teaching them at a very early age and stage in their piano development. Well, if they know that they have a perfect fifth interval by playing, now again, it just goes in order. This is 1, and we count up from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're not talking about key signatures. We're not talking about scales. We're just talking about the white keys for now. So I haven't even introduced circle of fifths. That comes later. But we're just talking about the white keys. But if they know this is the first, this is the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the eighth or the octave, if they know that, I tell them take a fifth interval, combine it with a third interval, put the two together, and that is a major triad. You've got a major chord. Now, I'm just demonstrating. You wouldn't pull these fingers back. You would keep them nice and curved. But here, that's a C major chord. C, E, and G. Well, guess what? To play the pentascale in the key of C, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. You're just playing all these white keys. When you get into the other key signatures, it becomes a little more challenging if you don't know a simple secret. Watch this. This second right here, it's a whole step up. So watch. Here, from C to C sharp, that's half a step. A whole step would go to the D. And then from the G, going down a whole step, that's where we have the F. Well, if they can create the perfect fifth interval and the major third, they have a C major triad. Then I tell them just walk every finger up half a step like you're walking up steps. So I'll say start with the thumb, and then take the middle finger up half a step, and then take the pinky up half a step. Well, now they have the C sharp major triad. C major, C sharp major. How do I know which other notes to play? Again, the second finger is up a whole step from C sharp. So watch. From C sharp to the D, that's half a step. Whole step would be here. So I just take this finger up a whole step, and then my fourth finger comes down a whole step from the pinky. So now I have C sharp, then D sharp, then E sharp, then F sharp, then G sharp. It's not really a problem. Sometimes people say, oh, I can't play in 7 sharps, or I can't play in 5 flats, or whatever. It's more of a muscular problem than it is a mental problem. When you're in the key of C, all of your fingers are evenly spaced. When you go to the key of C sharp, look what happened right here with the 3rd and 4th fingers. Instead of being evenly spaced, these fingers are now close together because you have that in the key of C. Everything is evenly spaced. Different key signatures, you have to practice having your fingers get into that formulation, having them practice getting, remember, it's more muscular than mental. The fingers are not accustomed to being in that position. You can see every key signature where these fingers are just banging up against each other. But when they start practicing from a very early age, okay, let's see what's happening. Can everyone hear me? All right. Can everyone hear me okay? Let me just get my camera back up here. All right. I apologize about that. Let me open up some different settings. Okay, I've got give me one moment. Okay. I'm back. I apologize. I think our power went out. All my lights turned off. The computer shut down completely. I apologize about that, but I'm back. So I'm back again. Yeah, something happened, and I don't know what had happened. So I apologize about that. When you go live, that can happen. Okay. That's amazing you came back this quickly, though. That is amazing we came back this quickly. I know. Everything just shut down. And I thought I was in the dark, and then it just came back on. I think they just had a blip. So I don't know what it was, but I'm back. I apologize. When you do live lessons, you never know what can happen. So I'm back. All right. Let me add this overhead camera again, and we'll go back to what I was talking about. Okay. We're going to go back to the overhead camera. All right. Can you hear the keyboard still? I can hear it here. All right. Perfect. I apologize about that. Again, you never know what can happen when you're doing something live. But as I was explaining, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off. I'm helping students understand how they can start to play in every key signature. And we're doing the theory, but I'm trying to show them how they can take a simple piece. And again, the main point of this entire composition is to teach melodic intervals and harmonic intervals. We start talking about both. But if you notice, as I'm playing through and explaining, on the previous 2 pages in the book, we had talked about the primary unison first, the major second, the major third, the perfect fourth, and then the perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and the perfect eighth or octave interval. From a very young age, early beginning level piano students, whether they are teens or adults or even little children, I explained that the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 8 are all perfect intervals. So I teach them that this is a perfect fourth, and this is a perfect fifth, and this is a perfect eighth or octave. I also teach them that the 2, 3, 6, and 7 are all major intervals. This is a major second, major third, major sixth, major seventh. I then explain to them that all intervals can be augmented by going up half a step. So I'm teaching them from a very early age, and I'm explaining to them if I have a major second interval, and instead of playing C and D, I play C and D sharp, that's an augmented second interval. So I tell them, first off, I teach the perfect intervals, then I teach the major intervals, and then I tell them that those perfect and major intervals, they can all become augmented intervals. If I have a perfect fifth interval, and then I raise it up, and I go and play that C. Hold on, let me quickly get rid of something. If I play the C and G sharp, that's an augmented fifth interval. C and A is major sixth, C and A sharp is an augmented sixth interval. So the way I like to help them understand about intervals is I say, first I teach the perfect intervals, the perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and the perfect eighth or octave. I teach them about that, and then I teach them about the major intervals, the second, major third, the major sixth, and the major seventh. And then I explain that all intervals can be augmented by going up half a step. Then I teach them that all major intervals become minor intervals when you go down up note down half a step and play C and E flat, that's a minor third interval. If I play C and D, that's a major second interval. Remember, all major second intervals or all major intervals can become minor intervals by going down half a step. So if I take this down half a step, C and D flat is a minor second interval. I'm helping them understand what intervals are. I like to teach that intervals are the basic, foundational, fundamental building blocks of music theory. Once you understand about intervals, you can do so much more. Now, All perfect intervals become diminished intervals when they go down half a step. So this is a perfect fifth interval. If I take that top down half a step, that becomes C and G flat. That's a diminished fifth interval. Well, the reason why I do this is because if they know their intervals, they can quickly learn chords, very quickly learn chords. All major triads are created with a perfect fifth interval and a major third interval. You combine the two together and you have a major triad. All minor triads are created with a perfect fifth interval and a minor third interval. You combine the two together, you have a minor triad. All diminished triads are created by taking a diminished fifth interval. Remember how I said perfect fifth is C and G? The diminished fifth is C and G flat. You take the C and G flat, that's your diminished fifth interval. You combine that with a minor third interval, C and E flat. Now you have a C diminished triad. What did I teach them? And again, I haven't taught them everything. We haven't gone like the sixth interval or the minor sixth, the major seventh. You know how we have sixth, minor sixth, major seventh, minor major seventh, seventh, minor seven flat five, minor seven sharp five, diminished seventh. We haven't talked about that. I'm just talking about the basic triads for now. If you have an augmented fifth interval, C and G sharp, with the major third, now we have C, E, G sharp. That's a C augmented triad. Again, very simple, not too difficult. We have C major, C minor, C diminished, C augmented. Many times I will teach students how to play the major, minor, and diminished in all key signatures very, very quickly and very easily. Let me come back to the front view just for a second. I like to tell stories. I pretend to be a storyteller. I love stories, okay? It makes a lot of sense to start teaching that at an early age. It does. It really makes a lot of sense to start teaching it at a very early age. I love telling stories. So I tell students you can quickly learn the major, the minor, and the diminished chords in every key signature if you think about you and two of your friends. Okay, major, minor, diminished. And let me show you what I do. I'll go back to the overhead view. I tell them, pretend that you, and I'll point to the C, pretend that you and two of your friends are walking down the hall at school. Or if they're homeschooled, I teach a lot of homeschool kids, I'll say, pretend you're walking down the sidewalk. Okay, you and your friends, you're happy. What happens if the friend in the middle falls down and breaks her nose? Okay, all of a sudden, instead of being happy, she falls down, breaks her nose. Now she's sad. Okay, this is minor. So we have C major, happy. She falls down, breaks her nose. That's sad, C minor. And then I say, what if the friend on top falls down and breaks his nose? Well, that's really sad. You have two broken noses now. You haven't broken your nose, but both your friends have broken their nose. So we went from C major to C minor to C diminished. And then I tell them, what happens if you trip and fall down and break your nose? And the students usually say, oh, it will be really, 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 really sad. And I tell them, if you fall down and break your nose, it becomes major because misery loves company. And you're all excited that everyone has a broken nose and no one is left out. So I tell them you have C major, C minor, C diminished, and then we're in B major. Well, instantly I will have students who will say, well, can't we do it from B major? And I say, exactly. Who fell down first? The friend in the middle fell down and broke her nose. That's B minor. Then who fell down? The friend on top fell down, broke his nose. And we're just falling down half a step each time. That's B diminished. And then you fall down, break your nose. B flat major, B flat minor, B flat diminished, A major, A minor, A diminished, A flat major, A flat minor. So then we go through every key. through every key signature, they're quickly playing the major, the minor, and the diminished. And they learn. I create a major triad by having a perfect fifth interval combined with a major third interval. When you combine those two intervals, you create the C major triad. If I have a major third interval combined with a minor third interval, you combine those two intervals together and you have a minor triad. And this works in every key signature. If you have a diminished fifth interval, C and G flat, combined with a minor third interval, then you have a diminished triad. And triad just means 3-note chords. These are all 3-note chords. C major, C minor, C diminished, and then C augmented. We have the augmented fifth interval with the major third interval. You combine them together, and you have the C augmented chord. Now, there are two other triads that you can teach, and then you've pretty much taught all the triads that you can teach. Now, in my book, Essential Piano Exercises Every Piano Player Should Know, I actually go through and I teach all of those triads, and then we even have, if we come back here, after the major scales and all of the exercises for the individual key signatures, and then the minor key signatures. Okay, let's see. Look at this. We have all major triads in every key signature. And then, after we go through every key, then we have all minor triads, and we do root position, first inversion, second inversion, back up to root position, an octave higher, and then we come down, we do blocked, and then we do. And then after we do all minor triads, then we do all diminished triads. See how we have the perfect fifth interval with the the diminished fifth interval with the minor third interval. You combine them together, you create the diminished triad. Then we do all augmented triads. Then I explain what a sus4 triad is, and I explain what a sus2 triad is. Those are all of your basic triad 3-note chords, and then you start getting into the sixth, minor sixth, you go into the seventh, all the major seventh, all the minor seventh, all the dominant seventh, you have the minor seventh, minor 7 flat 5, minor 7 sharp 5. We start going through every key signature, diminished seventh, okay? And then we get through all of the different chords. At the very end, I have different chords according to key signatures and then chord progressions, major and minor, and most common chords in every key. See that? All of the ones in the key of C. And then we do that in every key signature. I really wanted this to be like a kind of a Bible for music theory Bible, where it has everything in there. It only stops at the 7th chords. In the 11th and the 13th chords, we start to do that and cover that in my Essential Jazz Piano Exercise book. So in this big, thick beast of a book, then we start covering all of my all of the 9th chords. Once you have an 7th chord, you can add the 9th on top, and then you can go up to the 11th, whichever 11th you're going to use, and then the 13th. So you can go from a 7th to a 9th to an 11th to a 13th chord. So right now we're not going to be covering those. We'll talk about those later. But I'm helping the students from a very, very early age and beginner level to practice doing the basic triads. C major, Okay, I apologize. I don't know what is going on. So I may need to, let's see. Hopefully you can hear me again. All right. Let's just do what we may need to do. And I'm just checking all of my sound. The same thing happened. This time the light stayed on and my computer crashed. So I don't know what happened. So you can hear me again. So thank you. I apologize. I don't know what has happened both times, that we may need to wrap this up and just do another 5-10 minutes so it doesn't crash again. And then we'll check and see what's happening. But it's very simple to help students understand the music theory and to teach them the music theory in a way that they understand. You need to make it fun for the students. But I like to help them understand, we've talked about this, the practical application of music theory. Let me quickly go back. Hopefully we won't be cut off again, but let me go back to the overhead view and let me show you what I'm talking about. If students know this is a C major triad, C minor, C diminished, C augmented, and then if I teach them that if they take a perfect fifth interval and they combine it with the perfect fourth interval, that's a C sus4 chord. See, I let go of the third and I suspend or sustain the fourth interval. That's a C sus4 chord. It creates suspense or tension that needs resolution. Same thing with a C sus2 chord. That's a C sus2 chord. I let go of the third and I add the second. So it's a major second interval combined with a perfect fifth interval. The two together create a C sus2 chord. Well, you can start to play around with that. Students can start to take that theory. See, the sus chord, it creates suspension or tension and it needs to be resolved back to the C major chord, or I could take the G up half a step and it resolves to an F major triad, second inversion. See, this is root position, first inversion. This is second inversion. It's helping the students know what they can do with that. If you have a C major triad and you play the augmented interval, this is a C augmented triad, well, you can use that to change or transition from a C major chord to an F major chord. See that? So I went from the C major chord in root position to an C augmented chord in root position to an F major triad in second inversion. That's all I'm doing. And then I can go from the F major triad second inversion and slide over to the G major triad second inversion. Again, root position, G major triad, first inversion, second inversion. So I played C major, root position, C augmented root position, F major, second inversion, G major, second inversion. And then I can go back to C major, first inversion, if I want. See that? What I'm going to do, and I'm going to come back here just for a second. C augmented, F major, G major, and then end with C major. Let me show you this. Hopefully I won't be cut off again, but I'll show you this and then we'll probably wrap it up and end, okay? Let me show you C major, C augmented, F major, G major, C major. With my left hand, I'm going to primarily play the octave interval. I'll start with C. I'm staying with the C when I play the C augmented with the right hand. And then I'll go to the F octave interval with the left hand when the right hand plays the F major triad first inversion. And then I'll play the G major triad with the right hand, again, second inversion. And then I'll end with a C major triad, first inversion, while the left hand goes back to C. It's pretty simple. I embellished that a little more, but kind of fun, simple, not too difficult. It's something fun you can do. And again, I was trying to help students with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off, helping them learn the basic theories. We're starting with intervals. Remember, intervals are the basic building blocks of music theory. Once you understand intervals, then you can actually take those intervals and you can actually create chords built from those intervals. You can play melodic intervals, think melody, or harmonic intervals, think harmony, and then you can start to create chords that are blocked, think harmony, or broken, think melody. And then you go through and you just start creating all the music you can, and it's fun. That is what I try to do with these cool songs. I wanted to get to Playground Pro, and I wanted to show you 5 for 5. These are all created using intervals. But again, you can check these out. The paperback book is available on Amazon.com. You can buy the PDF book from my website, musicmotivation.com. All of the essential piano teachers who have the lifetime studio license of all of my books, they have access to all of these books in PDF format that they can then print out for their students. But check out the books. Let me know if you have any questions. It's fun to understand the music theory. That's why I came out with the Essential Piano Exercise series, where we have essential piano exercises, essential jazz, we have essential new age, essential pop is the latest one in the series. And right now I'm working on essential rock piano exercises is going to be the next one. So we have those 5 books in the series, but it's just fun. That's why I like to come out with cool songs and essential piano exercises to create music using the theory and help students understand how the theory was used to create the music so they can start to create music of their own. Hopefully you have a good week. Practice, do everything you can to learn this. I will upload this. I may need to cut and splice the 3 separate videos together and put it in the website, but you'll be able to log into your account and rewatch this within the Music Motivation Essential Piano Teacher website. But let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you. It's always fun to receive feedback from teachers and from piano students. I have parents who contact me all the time thanking me that their students are learning these essential piano exercises and these cool songs. Right now, I'm actually, and I may be asking for your help if you would like to. I have a new book I'm coming out with called The Musical Realm, and it's actually a fictional book. So it's a story that I wrote, okay? And so the book it's being finished editing right now. It'll be my first fantasy fictional book that I've written. I mean, I've written my poetry books, that I've come out with, and I have perceptions, parables, and pointers, and some motivational self-help books that I've come out with. But this is the first book in a series that I'm coming out with titled The Musical Realm. There will be 6. Currently, there are 5 books in the series. There may be about 6 or 7, but currently there are 5 books that I've started in the series. This is book 1 from the series. It is about a piano student named Matthew because I like the piano, and my son's name is Matthew. But the entire book actually talks about this piano student who hates the piano, to do with the piano. And in the first chapter, his parents sign him up for piano lessons with this mysterious piano teacher named Markham Darius Markham. And so he goes to his piano lesson, and then the piano teacher quickly learns that Matthew doesn't really want to play the piano, and he tells Matthew that he will never learn to enjoy and love the piano and piano lessons until he learns how to get inside the music. And with that, the musical score on the piano starts kind of having lightning come out from the music. And then Matthew gets sucked inside the musical score, and he gets taken to a world called the musical realm. And in this world, there are kings and queens and castles and knights and dragons and pirates and pirate ships and beasts and celestial seraphs, and kind of this fun trip that he goes on, this musical adventure. But all throughout, the character names that I have chosen and all of the different destinations that he visits, they're actually associated with musical terms. He meets the Bellicoso bandits and the Pizzicato pirates, and he gets taken to the Lancissimo land. And each of these destinations actually represent the musical terms that are used to describe them. So I'm going to be asking for reviewers, and I would love to have some individuals review them. And it's the classic age-old book of kind of light versus dark and right versus wrong, and trying to help find, the 5 keys of musicianship. And so there's a lot to it. This is book 1 from the series. I've already started writing books 2 and 3. There will be 5 in the series that I've already outlined, but book 1 is done, and it should be coming out probably within the next month or so. I'm just having the cover designed right now, but I would love to have anyone who would like to review it, and then once it's up on Amazon, then the paperback version will be available that people can buy. But I'd love to have you review it, share your review if you'd like to. You don't have to, but I'd love to have people start reviewing this new book. It's the first well, I've written a lot of nonfiction books, but this is a fictional book. It's a fantasy fiction book is what it is. I'd love to have you review it. So let me know if you'd like to, but I'd love to have you. Okay, you'd love to? Okay, I will keep you posted, and I'll let you know. I'm just having the last reviews done. Pamela, you'd like to as well? Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to have as many people who would like to review this. That would be great. So thank you. Okay, hope you have a great rest of your week. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. See you. Bye.